What is going on, everybody? Anon here, and this is probably the last time I'm going to do this in public. I'm going to give you guys the keys to the castle for the second half of 2026 for Magic the Gathering. For those of you who aren't aware, I do a lot of discussion about what items are getting reprinted, what items are out of print, still available at WotC distro or WotC warehouse, sold out there, and then really as things are starting to dry up at distribution, when is the time to buy these? So you don't have a whole lot of money tied up, and there is a very, very strong direct correlation between when items are sold out at Wizards of the Coast versus when they're sold out at distro to the excess supply churning through the system, and then the product themselves starting to go parabolic. So the last time we did this was in June, and this is just something I pieced together from a lot of conversations with a lot of folks in the industry, both on the distribution side, on the retail side, etc. So in June, we had Foundations Jumpstart 2-pack, Foundation Starter, Final Fantasy Commander, Final Fantasy Starter. That is the Cloud Sephiroth starter deck, beginner deck, whatever you want to call it. Aether play, Spider-Man play, and Avatar play. The only changes for this list, Foundations Jumpstart has been sold out from Wizards of the Coast for almost a month now, and it is almost gone at distribution. These boxes are still being dumped on TCG Player, sub 90, sub 95. The expected value is 105, 110. There are a lot of really good cards in this. Yes, Foundations, the name, the set, is an evergreen product that they claim was going to be in print for 5 years. However, given the amount of strain on the print capacity of Wizards, I find it very unlikely that they're going to reprint Foundations Jumpstart just due to the lack of demand in the market. The market can maybe take 10,000 boxes, maybe 15,000 boxes. And the difficulty to print because you have the cellophane pack on the inside, you have the regular pack on the outside, and quite honestly, they're a pain in the ass. And then Final Fantasy Starter, these are sold out at Wizards. They are drying up. This item, they're like $11 from distribution. If you look at the Lord of the Rings starters, they're selling for like $80, $90 right now. These probably have a 5x potential, and I will tell you right now, Final Fantasy is going to age significantly better than Lord of the Rings. I'm just telling you, these starter kits, probably not going to get another reprint. It's just not worth the time to print them. They come in cases of 12 that sell for $120. I think you can get like 500, 600, 700. I don't know, on a pallet, which, $7,000 on a pallet is absolutely nothing when you can put 700 boxes and make 10 times that. So I don't see a world where these get reprinted. And then these guys, Aether and Spider-Man, still readily available. I know distribution's running out of Spider-Man, but that's because they haven't reordered it. Avatar play, I think, is starting to get a little thin. And then on the unknown side, Lord of the Rings set boxes, distributors have received their purchase orders. I believe most, if not all, have. This is expected to land in September of this year. So it's coming. It's here. Been talking to you guys about this for a while. Fallout Commander is coming. For those of you who don't know, the general rule of thumb, from what I understand, is that these universes beyond licenses are for a 5-year period, and they start effectively the year before the set was released, because once they have the license signed, they have to skin the cards, design the cards, etc. Fallout was a 2023 set, the same as Lord of the Rings, which means the license was most likely signed in 2022. Could have been 2021, but more likely 2022 for this one. Lord of the Rings, probably 2021. So that would mean that the license expires the end of 2027, or more likely the end of 2026. So they need to get the product out just because it is a large hit. and it is the last opportunity for them to do it. Modern Horizons 3, Foundations, Edge, Edge Commander, and Lorwyn Commander. These were all TBD. The last I looked, they're not scheduled. In my opinion, they're TBD because they are not out of print. Modern Horizons 3 was a June 2024 product. So in my opinion, these are probably all 2027 reprints. We may not get MH3. I had this conversation yesterday in Discord. If we do get another master set, which would be smart for them to do in Q4 because they're late, they may mothball this early and then just lean into printing the new master set. Lorwyn play, we just got allocations for that. That is coming. Again, I think this is a third wave of product from the initial print run, which is something they had just started to do. With Lorwyn, now with Avatar and Spider-Man, they did have a first and a second wave. The second wave hit a couple weeks after release, but we've seen nothing since then because it's been available in the warehouse. These items are not showing up as available in the warehouse, so I wonder if they're just inventorying them. They're putting them in warehouse, and they're just they're sequenced to go out every so often to really keep the market from dumping, if you will. And then Strixhaven play, don't have allocations for this, but the SKU did magically show up in the Magazine Exchange website. It was inactive, which tells me that this one is most likely coming as well. Now, the intel that we have as of today, Foundations Jumpstart 2-pack and Starter are still available at WotC. Final Fantasy Commander, and this is important, Final Fantasy Commander has started to run up. It is still available from distribution. If you are looking for a significant amount of this, jump in Discord and let me know. I will work a deal with you, and we can get some because it is still out there. There's a lot of it out there. So that being said, Aether play, Spider-Man play, Avatar play are all still here. Are all still available. I think Avatar play is probably the first to go. I will tell you that the sell-through rate on Aether Drift and Spider-Man play, well, more so Aether Drift at distribution, it is anemically bad. It is it is not selling fast at all. And then we have a bunch of, I guess we can say, junk product, if you will, which is your land station. And when I say junk product, not something that people are going to buy a lot of. Land station, Lorwyn theme decks, Strixhaven theme decks, it's unfortunate because they're cheap, but the expected value on those is also pretty crappy. So not a whole heck of a lot to play there. I could kind of wished it was better. I would take a big swing and rip them for singles and list and sell them that way, but it's just not worth it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Team Up are still available. And then we have Fallout and Final Fantasy Play, Fallout Commander, Final Fantasy Play, which are confirmed. And then another one which has not been officially confirmed other than a non-intel. This one is going to be blood in the let's just say the bodies are going to hit the floor on this one, and nobody's expecting it. So that's going to be fun. So I want to go into this. So the best items to buy today, in no particular order. So we have Foundations Jumpstart, sold out everywhere. Marvel Jumpstart is sold out everywhere. These boxes have settled around $118 with the maximum amount of product in the market, which means things are going to dry up and they're going to churn. They're going to move upwards. MH3 play just ran out. And I know I mentioned above, there's probably going to be a reprint. I think it's going to be mid-2027, even Q1 2027. There's so little of this in the market. It's going to move. It's at $300 now. It's going to hit $400 probably in the next 6 weeks. Duskborn Outlaws and Karlov play all rotate out in February. Now, there are no rules when it comes to reprinting other than their space is limited, and they're not going to waste time on reprinting something where they cannot make tens of millions of dollars. See Duskborn, OTJ, and Karlov play. The market might take 10,000 boxes of these, maybe 20,000 boxes. It certainly will probably not get sold into distribution and taken all at one time. So that's what makes these relatively safe. Foundations play Q4, probably not till next year. But these boxes are still $160. They should be $200. They're underpriced still. Edge Commander, it's almost dried up everywhere, and the price for the two decks are pushing $65, $75 on TCG Player. Turtles Commander, we're about to break under 400 decks available on TCG Player. These are not going to get reprinted anytime soon. The risk with this one is that Wizards held some of this product back from the original print run, and we may get a second wave. I don't know. I tend to believe that this is probably one and done, but we'll see. It is also the first 4 copies of a commander deck in a display. Now we're getting the same thing in Reality Fracture, and quite honestly, it was even though the set was strong, the prices held up okay. Having one deck, one commander display is horrendously terrible. So, and then we have Turtles, Spider-Man, Avatar, collector boxes. I'm not buying them now because I think there's a much better return percentage in these other items up here. But they are, if you want to go higher up the value chain, they are good choices. And then best items to buy in October. And when I say buy, I'm saying this because I think the amount of supply distribution is going to be out or almost out at that point in time. Why not November? Just because I picked the end of October. Picked Halloween, bucket, whatever. Final Fantasy Commander. This is going to be the best performing commander display we've ever seen once they go out of print, which isn't going to be for a while. But there's going to come a point where they're no longer at distribution. They're no longer at WotC, and they're going to run up very, very quickly, especially if in 2028, not this year, but 2028, we get a second Final Fantasy set. There's going to be more hype. It's just going to happen. Lorwyn play, Strixhaven play. I say October because the reprint here is going to be pretty much allocated and pushed through the system by then. And then we're going to have a very, very long runway until we get more of this. I like Strixhaven better than Lorwyn, but you probably can't go wrong because, again, if you get these boxes at 105, 110, I mean, right now I'm selling Lorwyn play for 105 to subs just to churn it through and get it in people's hands. That is a fantastic entry point. And then Avatar play. And they are going to reprint Avatar at some point in the future. But once it runs out, the sell-through is pretty strong. And even though they just banned Honey Badger and Grand, I guess, in Standard, which I don't even know people play that anymore. The boxes are going to zoom. They're going to be $200 before they get reprinted in all likelihood. So best items to sell today. We know Final Fantasy Play is coming in Q4. Final Fantasy Play boxes are $240 to $250. There is no better time than the present to start taking profits because you know the price is going to get smashed. Fallout Commanders, I believe the displays are $350 to $400. There's more coming. You know what to do. They are not printing. They're not wasting their time bringing fewer than 50,000 displays to market. So this is an easy one. Lord of the Rings set boxes. We already know they're coming. We're probably looking at 70 to 80,000 boxes coming into the U.S. market. Not as many as I had thought, but it's also a pretty healthy amount. Warhammer 40K, they're $1,400. The license is still in existence. If you're holding these at $1,400, you're just a pig, and you're going to get slaughtered. Duskmourn Commander, they're $360. Duskmourn and Bloomborough, in my opinion, are going to get reprinted one last time. So I would take profits on this. Plus, you get to $360, $370. The liquidity really starts to slow down. The quickest returns are from distro price to $300. They just are. Wilds of Eldraine set, Phyrexia, all will be one set. As far as I know, these are still in the reprint queue. I know they're off the grid here. I know they were solicited for internationally back in March. Now, Wizards could have scrapped these two, But again, these are both sets that they do not rotate out until February of this year, and B, they can sell 50,000 plus boxes of these at the drop of a hat. And then we have Doctor Who Commander. These have run up to the mid 300s, maybe even higher now. See my prior comment about universes beyond licenses. Now, can they sell 50,000 of these in the market before things go out of print? Yeah, I think they probably could. So, and then best items to sell in October. In my view, Bloomburrow and Edge Play are going to get a reprint in early 2027. It's too early to sell them now because both are working, both are at 180, 190. When we start getting to the 220, 230 range, which is not that far away, October, November timeframe, I am dumping these. Remember, any Q4 reprint we get is going to be in transit before Thanksgiving, in all likelihood. So, by all means, this isn't gospel. This is my opinion. This is how I'm buying and selling as a business with my inventory. So, use it for what you will. I mean, again, this is kind of the keys to the castle with easy mode on how to trade Magic. And again, you get into the video I made on the 10,000 to 100,000. This is the level of intel that lets you trade Magic the Gathering items when you buy them, when you know they're about to move up because the supply's gone, and you sell them right before you know there's going to be a reprint coming. And look, if you sell early and the item goes up 20% more, and the reprint doesn't come for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, that's okay because now you're in cash, you're liquid, and then you can action on these items. My two favorite right now are Foundations Jumpstart and Marvel Jumpstart. Foundations Jumpstart is far harder to find. Marvel Jumpstart has a much higher sales velocity. And then Edge and Turtles Commander. These things are drying up extremely fast. Turtles Commander, I believe, are now $60 per. They're going to be $80, $90 here soon. The value of the cards is strong, and everybody slept on them. You can still get them at Micro Center for $40. If you see them, it's 50% return, and they're probably just sitting there because nobody cares. So anyway, guys, this is the beauty of Magic the Gathering. Not everything's Pokemon. Not everything's buy from the bots, hate the bots, fuck the bots, can't wait for Destined Rivals to come in. You do not have to play games trying to buy off Facebook market price to shave dollars off your sale price. In Magic the Gathering, you can let the market come to you because the hype is not here. It is a player-friendly game, and players rip packs, the packs get destroyed, and then the product dries up and people want it. Whereas in Pokemon, the players are not really relevant at this point in time. It's all collectors and investors and speculators, and predicting in the near term where Pokemon is going to perform is nearly impossible. However, predicting where these items of Magic are going to go in the near to moderate term is a virtual certainty. And that's what makes this market much more easy, much more predictable than the Pokemon market within the 2-year time frame and sooner. So anyway, guys, probably the last time I'm going to do this in public. From now on, I'll probably keep it behind a paywall just because it is pretty valuable information. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and enjoy it. You're not going to get this level of information anywhere else.